Okay, so the warmongers are back at it again. The Democrats are rushing through a massive Ukraine defense bill. If you guys aren't aware, tensions between Russia, Ukraine, and therefore, as a result, of course, the United States are ticking up as of late. And, in this video, I'm going to discuss a topic, and I want to use this article from The Intercept to bolster my argument here. But I don't really want to discuss so much the intricacies of the situation in Ukraine and its relationship with Russia and what's going on with the United States. But what I want to do is single out and make very, very clear the effort, the urgency, the decisiveness of these corrupted politicians and their decisions in handling this Ukraine situation as opposed to handling domestic affairs when it comes to the American populace. So this is an article from The Intercept that details the following. Democrats are rushing through a massive Ukraine defense bill. The House of Representatives is looking to skip markup and hold a floor vote as soon as next week. Democrats in the House of Representatives are planning to expedite a massive bill that would dramatically increase U.S. security assistance to Ukraine and lay the groundwork for substantial new sanctions on Russia, hastening a war-friendly posture without opportunity for dissent as concerns over a military invasion abroad. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told members on a caucus call Tuesday that she's looking to skip marking up the bill and move it straight to the House floor, setting up the possibility of a vote as soon as early next week. Two congressional sources told The Intercept the sources spoke on the condition of anonymity because they are not authorized to talk to the press. Pelosi's office did not immediately reply to a request for comment. This is how the space for non-military operation gets slowly closed off in Washington without any real debate. One of the sources, a senior Democratic aide, told The Intercept. The situation in Ukraine has escalated in recent days with more than 100,000 Russian troops reportedly stationed along the Ukrainian border. While Western leaders seek to create a unified front to deter what they fear is a Russian invasion, British intelligence released an unusual report over the weekend on an alleged plot to install a leader friendly to Russia. On Sunday, the Biden administration advised Americans to leave the country because of impending reports that Russia is planning significant military action against Ukraine, escalating tensions in the eyes of local officials, and put troops on standby for deployment in Eastern Europe. The legislation would send $500 million from the Foreign Military Financing Program to Ukraine for 2022. That amount would have made Ukraine the third largest recipient of funding from the State Department's FMF account in 2020, surpassed only by $3.3 billion to Israel and $1.3 billion to Egypt. That year, the FMF gave Ukraine $248 million. This legislation would also give Ukraine priority to excess defense equipment transfer and funds to counter Russian disinformation through programs like Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty. It would also aim to bolster Ukraine's cyber defense and direct the president to consider imposing sanctions on Russia in the event of a cyber attack on Ukraine. So this article goes on to talk about a Republican bill that was brought up that essentially does the same thing, but instead, as opposed to the Democratic bill, it waits for escalation for these things to go through. The Republican bill doesn't, because why the fuck would they? Anyway, but realize what's happening here. Tensions go up with Ukraine and Russia, okay? A hair on fire reaction. Oh my God, we gotta do something about this. This is indicative upon us to handle this situation. I just want you to take a step back. Just sit down if you need to, take a step back and ask yourself the following question. Why is it that when it comes to military affairs, everything's always so quick? Everything's always so, it's a no-brainer. We got to send this country money. We got to send that country money. We have to deploy troops here. We got to bomb this, drone strike that. Everything's always so concise. But when it comes to the American people, you, me, and everybody you care about, it's always, sighs, grunts. We can't give them this. They can't have universal health care. They don't deserve a minimum wage that's a living wage. We can't allow them to unionize. Let's pass more right-to-work laws. We can't have a worker co-op sector. We can't turn this into a worker co-op society. You know, capitalism's great. It's the best we can do. We can't have free college. We have to make college students go into spiraling debt in order to pursue a higher education, to explore opportunities in life, and all the rest of it. We have to have a military budget that's so out of the water, it's more than the next 10 countries combined, and half of them are our allies. I mean, we're doing all this posturing towards Russia, trying to seemingly escalate to another world war. When Russia's military budget is so meager in compared to our own. I mean, this is absolutely amazing what's happening right now. Notice when it's in regards to the military, everything's whoop-de-doo, we had to do it. But when it comes to you and me and your grandmother and everybody else you care about, it's always this constant, and there's just these debates, and can we do this for them? We don't have the money. How are we going to pay for it? How are we going to pay for it? That's what they love to say the most. How are we going to pay for this? We can't pay for you to make more money. We can't pay for you to be paid more. We can't pay for paid family and sick leave. We can't pay for lower drug prices. Lower drug prices, guys. But when it comes to sending Ukraine money to arm fucking neo-Nazis, which is who they're arming, yeah, go ahead. By the way, that too's on the ground in Ukraine. We're arming rebel groups. They're neo-Nazis. And Donald Trump did the same thing. They act like Vladimir Putin's puppet. He was doing the same thing we're doing right now. He was arming rebel groups in Ukraine, aka neo-Nazis. I mean, what the actual fuck? It makes no sense that this is happening right now. It makes absolutely no sense. Of course, everybody would hope that cooler heads prevail. But like I said, I didn't really want to get too much into the Ukraine-Russia situation. I just want you to realize how these particular decisions are being made when the subject is, we got to send weapons and gun this place to cause these types of massacres and death. Whereas, we don't really want to give everybody health care right now. We don't really want to raise people's wages, give them a home, provide them a job. What about creating a federal jobs program? Nah, we don't want to do any of that. Let's just send weapons and money to Ukraine to arm the fucking neo-Nazis. That's fine. That's completely fine. I'll leave you with this. There has been, at one point in time in history, U.S. troops on Soviet soil, or Russia soil, if you want to call it that today. There has never been at any point in time Soviet troops or Russian troops on U.S. soil. I'll leave you with that.